But anybody trade that bid rate and then the news? Talk about drama. And so with the magic of the internet, there's a guy in Italy that rewrote the hotkeys. So now there is no, what he told me is that there's this word called while in the code. And I said, while? What do you mean? Like Wile E. Coyote? Like what kind of while? He said, no, the word while is fucking up the goddamn double clicks. It's like a goddamn traffic jam on the platform. So, this is the thing. Once that was fixed, holy fuck me. It's like butter. So, in the sense that if your broker has a limit on how tight your order can be, the magic of the script is that it will filter out that ticket now. Instead of looping and crashing, it's going to say, okay, no mas, right? No, whatever. No, it's not going to go. Beautiful, right? Fucking relief city. Now, so today, unfucking believable. Traded it on the goddamn Draghi speaking and everything. I'm running 10 pip stops. I'm killing it. I know exactly what every hotkey is set to do, and I know it'll do it. And if it doesn't do it, it just moves. The broker just says bye-bye. So if you write a buy stop, so I was running today was this buy stop with the buy limit, and this broker's not set up like that, but imagine the broker's telling you, listen, you can't place that order unless it's X. Okay, well, it just ignores it. But I still have a limit in there. So this limit that's super deep, actually there's no limits on these, there should be. But see this limit, it comes in below. Now, the other limit might be coming in. It's supposed to be. I'm supposed to have limits on this, but I don't know. I guess. Oh, I didn't update this one. So, like I have it on this one. Buy at the market, and it buys on a limit. So I'm actually buying at the market. I'm chasing here. So don't trade like this. Everything I do in here is just you can't. I'm just showing this thing being executed. So this is like you can't make money. I mean, I guess you could, right? If your ratios are kick ass, but at some point, if you overtrade it, you're just going to get killed by the spread and by the commissions, whatever they are. So this it definitely there's a time to smash the market and a time to now. This broker happens to start at 8 p.m. or they start at 8. I think this line is going to update by 9 p.m. We'll be in the end of a bar here, maybe. Well, the 1 hour bar just started right on the line. So in a trend sense, if you believe that this was a, and of course, I'm looking at the yen through the eyes of just the dollar and the euro, so I can actually see the yen kind of. The yen's been, say what you will, you know, these Japanese girls are just smoking hot, so you can say whatever you want about the yen not going up, but let's face it, right? Here it's a range trader's dream and limit trader's dream. And with that Draghi shit today and all that whatever the fuck, look at the drama here. Just behold the drama. On the 1 hour alone is just a gold mine of bullshit. It comes in at retests here. Now, if you have hand-placed limits and you're running the hotkey keyboard, it just fucking kills. So you have the drop, and it's a 1 hour drop, and then you have the, okay, so today I was playing it like a goddamn arcade game. The market is smashing down. I'm like, I mean, I'm talking like 80K. In and out. That thing just cashed out $300 on 80K of just 10 pip stops, mind you. And some of this stuff is only designed to make like 12 pips. So we just made $1.20 and it's just rifling through. I mean, it was insane. the broker did not refuse one ticket because of the filter's been taken off the while. So this guy, you know, he's already got an accent, so he's trying to say while, and I'm like, what are you saying? While. Sound it out. While. Meanwhile, we used to say meanwhile back at the ranch. Look how this thing returns to the scene of the crime. Look at the feeding frenzy at this price level. Holy shit. So this would be the ultimate trend line. Now this isn't an uptrend, whereas this is kind of stumble bumming, and this will be, this is the strongest one to trade against the yen, and this is the laggard. So tonight we're looking for a possible, and this is a classic Thursday scenario, it seems to be, bid the fucker down to China and then retrace it, and by Friday it takes out the high, or it gets back to fair value, and to here it would be that the scalper's exit was here. We actually went through that up into the last known bottom, which was the major clusterfuck right in here. Was the triple bottom with the apex of the triangles right here too. It's very important. The scene of the crime here is this triangle. So if you're doing your Gartley, it looks like this. There's your Gartley right there. The apex of that triangle is retest city, pivot city also. But I'm telling you, with those scripts, it's just butter. You don't have to fucking fight the broker anymore. So the broker, fuck the broker. He doesn't like your ticket, fuck it. Move on, right? It's like, now, if I go to the 5, to make money, though, you got to be trading this thing, though. So here's your cashing out, say, right? If I take all profits here because we're up against the range, I'm just be getting out or something like this. I'm in here, I double click this, it's going to just clear off that one pair. But I think it's going to go for that engulf. I think this is going to be another fucking Thursday psycho engulf playback. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I mean, it's just, it seems like this has been happening. Now, it's scary how just dumb and clockwork the market is. Of course, if this goes up, the stocks are going to go up. Now, watching the stocks kind of take all this under advisement, I think that inflation is definitely a consideration, but I think that the Japanese might be printing more than the Americans. Now, the euro attempted to take out the high of the year. It could still kind of pop through tomorrow. It's getting a little long in the tooth. And the Australia to the this Australian dollar, and this is, I got my classic charts here. I'm sure everybody's familiar with this view of reality. This is classic candlestick charting, which I can't really wrap my brain around, sadly. So that's been a real problem. I'm not good at the, I guess I'm not good at that whole structure thing, what do you call it? Okay, I guess I can move my targets up here. The candle things are just too really, man, you got to have a trade plan for these candlesticks. I would say the wicks are definitely your entry on limits. And so here we're about to leave the station here. Also, we have the same update time. And this broker seems to be right at the... so everybody's updating the same time. Here was the... This is fucked up. We got to put on this template. And here was the big drama. Here so we have a triangle forming here on the S&P 500. And the dollar, if this goes up and breaks that triangle, just keeps going up and up and up, which I don't see any divergence there. So if you're trying to sell the shoulder here, and that would mean that the dollar, well, I don't know, dollar cat duplicated it here, for God's sakes. I should put the dollar yen here. So this guy goes up, stocks go up, and this on the weekly is right at the floor. So look how this thing was is testing the weekly. If it engulfs and survives this test, and right now it's poised to engulf here, but the exit here for the scalpers is always going to be the body of the candle. So if you just block off the bodies, okay, and look at how many probes in now. If you just cut the body here and see all the wick entries. So there's a complete shearing off here where the wicks poke below that. Now was the if you're looking for this particular thing to load the wagon, that candle on the daily, holy fuck, right? And then you go baby hammer, inside bar, buy stops are here. It's pretty easy to see everybody's trade plan, I think. So if you're trying to see the big picture of everybody's trade plan, it looks like this. It's just a trusty drawing tool. So here, like from a standpoint of a breakout person, you know, they're putting in buy stops and sell stops here, and boosh, right? They make this, and here they get the fuck out. There's no trade until here, and I think this is like Sunday night maybe, so this is kind of a cheater platform where this is like not a real day. Then you have the just here, I think this is Sunday into Monday. You put in a hedge here. Here's a major hedge. Here too. Abandoned baby, pretty rare. And of course, not on a Sunday night. That's how you're getting that kind of thing. I think this is another Monday. This is Sunday and a Monday. There's a beautiful hammer, but how do you fucking get into that thing? I think you have to load up on the body intraday. Small body, get the fuck in. And you're just going to have stops and take profits that cover a whole range of possibility, and hopefully you can see the 4-hour structure here, or you're trading the rhythm of the 1 hour or something like that. Let's hope, right? So look at the so here's the floor trap. If this engulfs here, and then we have the engulf on the fucking drawing mode here. Can't never get the fuck out. I need to send these guys email and tell them how utterly insane. Look at Dollar CAD at the bottom of just going through the floor here. So on the monthly, you're talking about testing the monthlies from here, right? And look at the vacuum fill. So a lot of buyers coming in there. So this is why if we engulf on the dollar yen, we could get the same kind of, now look at the fall through the floor here. And this is the final. Now, right now, trailing buy stops I would have on this, on the 4-hour. Here I'd be accumulating, I'd be trading this, counter trend trading this. I don't think I want to try to get on this trend. So on the 15, to me, it's easier to, like I was buying here and dumping and buying here and dumping. So I would just buy as it's dropping. I like to nail it right here and right here. The two big 15-minute down bars, bam, bam. And of course, if you have trailing buy stops on these scripts running now, so you're basically telling the broker that's how it's going to roll. So you have trailing buy stops that are like pending here, right? And it gets trapped a little bit. And that's same with the sell stops pending. And this is a low true ranged flag drift up. So sell stops are running, and maybe sell limits are connected too. Just like in the other one, I have a sell limit and a sell stop. And you figure, well, it's in a downtrend, right? And maybe it'll kick up, and I get that tagged on that one extra ticket and kind of a baby black swan. And so as that's trailing down, now here, sell stop, sell stop, sell stop, and really hitting the button, really racking it into this, and maybe the sell limits are riding into it too. So you're picking like an envelope entry. Here, buy stops with the buy limits coming in, and finally it reverses. Now, when this thing heats up, you got to go for a different key that has a deeper buy limit. So you have to kind of get a little bit of a gauge, like, hey, you know what? We could drop like fucking insane. So let's go fucking insane on our, on our thing, and let's get that synced up with the market. So I think that's another thing to consider is the getting it to sync with the prices, because if this is a breakout here, and this is just a baby. Okay, so if you, well, it's kind of hard to, you have to go to 5 minute to see the, reload the fucking, it doesn't want to reset the scale. Okay, so here you bought, right? You bought at the market on that because you're right at support. So it doesn't mean it's going to go up, but, right? I mean, come on. Anything down here is a buy on the 1 minute chart. So you're either babysitting this thing, you got a 15-minute trailing. But see, here's where you get trapped on a 15-minute order. It's trailing like this, and then finally, whereas you really have to be buying here at the market, and on limits as it drops. So you buy here. They're going to blow out all those orders. Now here's, as soon as you go sideways, you put on the hedge, right? You put on the sell stop, buy stop, super tight keys, if you have those in front of you. Now that's when I have it programmed. I'm going to fine tune the program and post it. So I'm not going to post it in this one because it's too much drama to get it, but I want to make it stepped. So it goes from 7, like maybe a 6 pip stop, all the way to like an 18 pip stop. So the envelope and the sell side is in there too. So we have a sell stop, sell limits, and all that stuff. Look at the insanity here. Now this is the bottom of the hour insanity. This is where you get crazy amount of volatility. Look at this thing. And the Australian dollar at this point is probably going through the roof, right? It just went into the weekly, this huge hole up here. Now look at this vault. When it starts to fill this, and this is the New Zealand should follow into this. I don't have New Zealand up here, but I got to imagine New Zealand's going to cave in and go with it too at some point. So you'll get a piling on into this thing. And the dollar, that's kind of the argument for the dollar going to hell. But I think the yen is the one that's, so everything's right to the edge now. And this is the last quarter. And, you know, it's oddly enough, I think stocks keep going up. I mean, just hard to believe, right? Look at the weekly. Of course, you would say this is a shoulder on the weekly. But for the range traders, it's been pretty fruitful. I mean, anybody that's on the S&P 500 and they're trading this side. Now look at these breakouts on this. Inverted hammer here, but this could be, it's definitely sunny night action. So if you just if you go for the bodies, here you'd have no limit fills here. But here, if you go through these, here would be your window of entry. Okay, so now we're going. Okay, now we're looking for this to engulf possibly on the 30-minute yen. And I don't know, we just came out of the gate here on this. Okay, this broker kind of crashes. I don't know why. So everything's all connected. Once the grid goes down, man. Hey, man, when the grid goes down. Okay, so this says the bottom of the hour. So 15-minute chart. We just have a breakout there. Sellers come in, breakout on that 15-minute. Here's the 5. Okay, pulling back, coming back into fair value again. Not done consolidating for a move either way. All right, so, and then the 1 minute CAD is falling through the floor into the abyss of, you'd have to fix the scale here. You mark this off. So tomorrow we could go into here and I would start buying anything below there. Okay, we're looking for the yen to come up off the floor a little bit. So the yen's still getting crushed. They're still smashing this back. 5-minute chart, and 5 minutes after the bottom is down hard, we just buy at the market pretty much. So here I got my market order, and here's my market order. And then we can put the buy stops in. Now this is with the scalp. This key's a 15-minute buy line with scalps. And then we have the big kahuna. High risk trade here is 8, 9, 10 key. Okay, so that was just, and it didn't crash the platform, see? It won't take that order, but another retest, go figure. Who knew? So look at this 10 pip volley here back and forth. Once again, so this was a nice 15 pip run here. And now we're going to go for the higher risk tickets. And so we have a trend here, and here we're still getting crushed. This is the first glimmer of coming off the mat here, but we still go down lower, so the limits are super deep for 15 minutes here. Connected to the, so this is key number, so if you're following at home, it's key number C6 here and C7. So very, and this is 2.5 pips above current price, so it's not the best price entry in the world. Okay, the scalps are built into this top ticket. So that was a 5-minute smash and grab. Now we're just going to have to let this go and maybe buy at the market. Now that would have been your buy at the market, I think, right as it was coming to here, unless you had a limit sitting there. You really, and that's only about 5 pips deep. So you'd have a 3, 5, 8 pip deep limit, lasts 15 minutes. You're sitting here, you come to the platform, you just keep trolling for that entry. You have a half hour and a 15-minute, maybe you make this, this is all set to 15 here, so it's really hard to blow up the account. Like if you should fall over from too much porn, you wake up, the account's good. Nothing lasts more than 15 minutes. Those short-term relationships here I'm talking about. This is getting a hooker for every 15 minutes, different hooker. In 1 hour, you've got 4 different hookers. This is, you got to think, you know, you got to think about the big picture. Oh, look at this. So now this, very close. This is a little bit, this is more, let's see, the volatility, I'd say about the same here, maybe a little more, a little less on the euro yen. So euro yen's a little bit tamer. This is a huge move. That's why we're only seeing 20, 30, 40 pips here, where we see about 45 to 40 pips maybe. If I queue these up to the same pip rate, same grid size. Okay, so we're testing the lows here on the dollar yen. We can still go through the floor, and this thing could still break this trend line here. There's no guarantee, but buyers should come in here, and if we can close here in the next 5 minutes, we'll establish our first uptrend line. Here we're kind of holding into this buy zone. Okay, it's fair value, so we'll buy at the market, and here we'll buy at the market too. So that is clean down. That was 15 minutes clean down. Bam, bam, bam. So it really too fast to drop to really be considered, I think, a real move. So we kind of scalp that, I think. So here's my scalp keys. Now these are set to only make like 8 pips, and it doesn't sound like much, but if you hit that 10 times, that's $8. If you hit it 100 times, it's $80. So how many times can you hit? And of course, here you can just keep hitting it if you really like the trade. But you don't want to do that, because you don't want to ever risk more than like 0.001% of your account. So if you put $1,000 in your account and you're trading, you're risking, oh my God, you every time you hit the key, you're risking $1 or $2 maybe, because you got that limit pending 15 minutes deep. You bought one at the market, you could get stopped out. So you're risking $2 a button press How many times, if you want us $50, you can say, well, it's going to be fucking, $50 is going to be 25 button presses. And of course, they can all be different styles. So here's the buy stop. That's going to buy 2.5 pips above for 15 minutes. But maybe you're like, you know what? Let me buy one now at the market. Because what if we never, like, what if this is the pullback? Because what I'm seeing right here on the 5 minute, it's got to be an obvious come back to this doji here. Right? This would be the fair value. And here it's like, oh, you know what? That's still getting smashed. So let me put buy stops above on this. I think that's 3.2 pips above on this. So I made a wider buy stop on key numbers 8, 9, and 10. I made it get in at 3.2. So this will run on a pair that doesn't trade this tight. Now this is the tighter. If the broker takes it, this is the tight entry on the buy stops. And we buy at the market here. Okay, so we locked that in. Now we can't touch it. Now it has to go up. I would say at the bottom of the range now, you have to be done buying. Because you got so much, you just bought so much, and you got pending limits sitting below for 15 minutes. And I put in, I don't know if I put any hand place long-term orders. Now, if I overlay long-term buy limits all the way down, it's amazing, right? So this way, you've got your babysit the market hotkeys. You're sitting here with a keyboard. I spilled the stuff on my keyboard. It survived. My cherry keyboard survived a water incident today. And I think I actually cleaned it up a little bit. I don't know if it'll survive. The dishwasher will probably not survive, but still running. Okay, so now we're waiting for a 5 minute rally here. Looks like we're not going to get it. They're going to smash it down. So our buy limits are coming in now. Right? Big smash down. Now here's where I put the monster risk orders in. Oops. Okay, these are going to be where we put in limits, and we're going to buy at the market now. Again, I'm going to buy like, let's see, let's get into like this, buy as much as we can at the market here on this frantic retest. So these are great scalps, I think, because it's so frantic of a move. Now, that's why you don't want to buy any more than you've already bought at the market, because these limits are pending for us to get picked up in the upstream, if we get an upstream. Otherwise, we just keep putting in these. I think we still haven't gotten near the low of the day, so we're inside we're in the capture zone of and it's Asia, so I expect a lot of drama here in this part of the game. Okay, we're looking for an engulf at the end of the day. Now this has survived. See, now this is a better buy. See how that survived the trend line. This is still making new lows here on dollar yen. So right here, we have still holding an uptrend, so to speak. Here it's totally a new low. So we're getting a fresh low entry here. Okay, so I'm going to put the buy stops here for a scalp, and same thing here, because that has a limit connected to it. Okay, now more limits. 15 minutes. 15 minutes of limits. Going after we're going after the low of the day. Incredible. So here we go. We're going to put in the buy stops now. High risk buy stops. Okay, looking for a huge. No, new lows. There you go. But not new lows. We haven't taken out the low of the day of yesterday, so that's really key. That's something to keep in mind. Okay, it's going to be... Okay, you just have to let go. Now here's the buy stops for the trap entry. Okay, now here's going to be high risk, big take profits. So it's going to... We're putting in 18 pip stops now. Now we're looking for the scalp to get in and just make 20 pips here. So buy at the market. Okay, now you got to really load up here. So it's only 1Ks. So there's really not a chance to... Okay, the high risk trades are looking to make... No, these are risk 18 to make like 40 and stuff. Okay. Okay, this... So if it closed here, we just made a new low and close, still tanking. But now the buy stops are stacked up for the scalps. For 15 minutes, if we come ripping back... Right, this is the, what do they call it? The agony and the ecstasy of trading, I suppose. Now, here's where, look at this smash. Now, we have to let that play out. The euro, just amazing. Now, this euro, the Asian session here, with these spikes, damn, it's good scalping. Now, if you're short the market, you've really got to think, damn, I mean, are you going to hold it until Monday, I suppose? Yeah, this is like a new low territory here. Serious smash and grabs. Okay, so now we're just going to go for the buy stop only, I think, on this. So there's a buy stop and a limit on that. So the limit's pretty deep. And now you'd have to adjust that to taste what you think is too much. One man's tight stops, another man's wide stop, I suppose. But the way it is now, okay. Now I could walk away from that. I do have some, these only last for 15 minutes, mind you, so that's as tight as I think the broker takes is a 15-minute script. I could try another one. I could try running 5 minutes again, but it just wouldn't go. I think it wouldn't run. Ultimately, I think it would be 5 minute. I could try it here on this system. I could make this one do it. And this, I'm running this in parallel with my real account, so this is... I go back and forth and update every time we change the update. We run it on another broker so we can run them in stereo. And we can see that the performance, if we want to tweak it, we tweak it on the demo, or actually tweak it on the real money, and then I take it to the demo. Because I can see how I want to redesign that and go, okay, you know what, let's do it like that this time. So I have the hotkeys are the only ones that I've cleaned, that this guy cleaned up the scripts on. And so everything else will crash. All the other double clicks will potential crash or not get filled. Okay, let's go to the hotkeys here. Grab the pack of orders. Okay, right here. So we're going to try to make this one last for 5 minutes. I don't think it's going to run, but I'm curious to see if the broker doesn't take it, then it's going to be like that. So we'll make this M5. I did it a long time ago, and I guess I just quit trying because I did about 5 years ago. Maybe the broker takes it now. Who knows? So it's going to be this key. Yeah, they're not going to take that. They won't take a 5 minute order. You can't blame them. Now, 15 is certainly a decent amount of time to wait for the market to make its decision. So let's just make this back to normal. Okay, this is the big sale of the century. Now, we did run buy stops in to lock in to this high risk trade. Okay, so it runs now. Rewrote it. Yeah, it won't take a 5. Let's see. Here would be your confirmation on breakout of the 5-minute bar. Look at that smash down. For the love of Pete. So look at this. And this would be your sell stops as it comes back up into this. That is a 40. That's a 40 pip smash down. 20 pip smash down. Amazing. And here, if they trap there now, we have the top of the hour coming. So it's crazy. Not quite near the lows of the. So real smash grab. And this is still structurally sound though. I mean, this on the half hour, we're not even near. This is just a retest in the big picture. See here and where we're at in the big picture. So when you're looking at this is the range scalper psychosis zone, whatever you call it. And I don't know if I'm making any money here. I'm just not really paying attention to this count. But so here, you see where I take profits at, right in the floor where we just went through. So if I just keep nailing this button, this will be confirmation. Or I'm just going to buy with my 8 pip winners like this at the market. So we just do the psycho buy at the market thing here. Now, who knows? If we lock in, if we reject this thing like we did earlier, now if you look at the big picture here, look at the point at which this is the monster 5-minute double bottom. We're below that right now. And huge trap zone. So this is the top inside the bottom, the classic retest of all the way back to the starting gate. When the whole thing kicked off, and that was the beginning of the first leg of the 5-minute, the first time you could draw a trend line. This is a very steep one. But here is the, so that's just a classic situation, right? We've seen this a million times at Tuesday, right? Okay, so we're going to try to get an engulf going here. Now, there's so much psycho scalping around that. If you're not a swing trader, then... So if you're trying to accumulate down at the lows, you had a chance to make 40 pips. You could have dumped, right? You could have got out 40 pips and dumped that whole position. Or did you ride it to the other side, right? Okay, let's see here. Get out of these, move these guys around. All right, so we're gonna move in order here. All right, so that, it looks like an engulf now. Now, the scalpers are definitely gonna dump, and the next 20 pips are gonna take their almost guaranteed wins, I'd say, kind of, I don't know. Can't say nothing's guaranteed, but high probability of killing it on that ticket, right? Let's go for a reasonable 30 pip targets on. Okay, that's just, it's just cutting right through. So there we go. We have to, well, we're just not gonna be able to move that. We're just gonna take the money and run on that trade. So that was. Okay, so here is, let's go back to this. Okay, now this is engulfing. Now this is already cashing out. So this could go full engulf, full engulf. Baby went full engulf. Oh, I see the wrong, wait. Wrong price. All right. No, I see what you're saying. No, I see what you're saying. I don't think you do. No, I do. I see what you're saying. Okay, I got to move some orders here. Okay, so this could be the classic engulf. Like I said, the 20 pip bounces in here are just insane. You cannot trade these markets without like the proper size and the proper stop. Because look at this, you have to make those first few pips out of the gate. You'll never survive it if you can't scalp this psychosis. Because what if you were in really big? and you put a stop here at the low of the day to protect yourself. Put a trailing stop. This wick here, this psychotic Asian stop hunt could be the entry of the century for you, you know, right? So we could get a complete, and it could start tonight. We get the engulf, then it pauses, then it goes full sweep, takes out the high. I mean, you know the markets are capable of it. It takes out the high of the previous thing, and next thing you know, right? Old Jetty, he's a millionaire. Kinfolk said. So this is the drama that if you trade it the right size, of course, you have to have these scalps here to take something off the table. So it's just too psychotic, isn't it? You might get now, if you're going to ride this thing without ever touching it or adding it, and you're in pretty big, you'd say, you know what, just let that thing go. Because either you're going to scalp out, and then you have to wait for the thing to kind of pause, congest, retest, to get in to another trade. A swing trader might get in here and think, well, you know, this if they can reject this floor here, so the scalpers are getting out here. At this floor on the trap entry. And here we'd say here's the floor for closing prices was here. Now this is still in an uptrend. This thing survived it. It's in an uptrend on this time frame on trend line drawing and close, just like it is on the bigger time frame. And this was the new low kind of trap situation. Now we're looking for a possible 30 pips on this guy, and this is another 30 pip winner, possibly. The euro is definitely killing the yen. The euro is certainly strong, but you know, you take the scalps as they come, I suppose. So it could be a long night. Now this, if you look at on this time frame, looking at the structure level here, the scalper should come in here, seller should come in, and here you're looking for a filling of this hole right here. So this is where you're really looking for that ideal cash out zone, or you're going to sit here with your finger on the trigger and actually get out of this thing and pad your account on this one and let this one go maybe, because this one has reached its exit door and boom, you know. Okay, this could be psychotic in golf. Now, I don't know what's coming out of Asia, and here's where you get these moves that you just say, really? Wow, okay. Now, this is a serious, like, if we're going to golf the whole day, we got to get the party started in some regard here. So we might actually engulf in 4 hours, or or we could get about halfway to fair value from yesterday in about 1 hour here, or just in about 20 seconds. So anything could happen. Certainly, if you're looking at a retest entry, this would be a retest. I mean, this is retesting on the 5-minute structure. Now, if they trip the wire here, you take out this trend line on the 5-minute. Now, sellers are coming in here. Right there, sellers are coming in. Now, if they can't hold it and we pop above that, it's just going to be like, wow, just this guy's getting into the pool right now. He's in the sell window, but he's in a strong uptrend, and basically he's looking at this situation. Look at this void. Now, this happens to happen very quickly tonight. In the next 5 minutes, I'm hoping for a spike up on something, and then holy shit. Cash out maybe, sit back, reassess, take the money and run, so to speak. Now, I'm not really looking at the money here, so I would add to this if I had the ability here. I think I could add to here on some stops maybe. So I did this today. As the market was just raping north, and it raped south, so there was a southern rape, right? Woodshed, and then there was now here is what I was doing today was with a 10 pip stop, I was buying right here at the crest of the vacuum. And I'm like, you know what? I know this is ridiculous putting buy stops in here, but seriously, if we take this out in the next 5 minutes, it's just going to be like vacuum city. So that's what, and today was insane on the euro, and the euro to the pound just vapor up and just insane, right? I mean, the amount of insanity, because it went down too, and after it went up, you could have just got in with the sell stops and rode it all the way back. Insane. Absolutely insanity. Stop the insanity, right? So you don't want to be like, here we go. Okay, so we're moving up our targets to, I'd say we're going to go for the engulf. Put me down for engulf. Now, if you're trying to buy into this heavy, loading the wagon, thinking, I'm going to buy standard lots right down here. I hope you're ready for this fucking $200, this $100 and this $200 and this if you're trying to buy a bunch, because you perceive this in golf coming, and who didn't think? And today we got the complete rally back up into the floor on the 5 minutes. So everybody's exit was right here, right on the 5 minute. Not everybody's, but I mean certainly there was the dream that it was going to come to here maybe. Or at least to here was the first exit. This was the conservative exit. And then we got this top become a bottom drift up. Last pop, triple top, and that last pop. And then, now we could just lay the hammer down. This is a wedge on the 5 minute. This is a do or die situation. Of course, for this whole engulf theory to happen again, it's got to somehow get to this guy, trip that wire, and then start taking out the highs of the, here's your Gartley. That's what I'm talking about. Start taking this out like a zipper. Look at this fucking drift down. I mean, talk about a channel. Like, are you kidding me? So you see this all the time and you go, really? Yeah, that's a trend. Like, the market comes to here, the goalposts. I just watched a horror movie where the guy comes and he hits that thing with the hammer to make the bell ring. So it's this British horror film, and the guy, he nails it because he's all pumped up on serum. All these old horror movies, sci-fi movies, are like, do you have the right serum? Yeah, we got the serum. Like, I think Reanimator was the best, most, I guess at that point, the comedy was reaching into the horror flicks. See, that's a horror flick comedy. But that's what the stock market's really good at, like horror flick stuff. Like, this is walking down the hall. Wait, here's the monster. I guess you have to picture this. Here's the monster walking down the hall. And then, yikes. And look at this smash and grab all the way to here. Like, total Wick City back up into... He's back. This is the zombie walk. All right, that's in the thing. Walk down the gauntlet there. Holy shit. Okay, so... Look at this. Dollar up, stocks up. Are stocks going to confirm this move? Now, I don't trade stocks, but I would look at the 5 minute. If this goes up on the 5 minute S&P right now, I hope the market's open. Or what I'm saying is complete bullshit. Now, maybe the market's closed, but it looks like it's ready to go up. It's just about to go up. No, I think the market's closed. Oh, well. It looks good on paper. Yeah, I don't see it moving. This might be the real S&P 500 because there's gap opens here. It fell out of bed. See, here's where it fell out of bed. I always thought that was the funniest thing I ever heard about the market. It fell out of bed. I'm like, God, I think I just bought that. So you have to get the plush carpeting in your, you need that. That's why you need that plush carpeting in case you fall out of bed. The argument for plush carpeting. Now, we're looking to break this trend line. We get the engulf started here. We get the party started. We cash out on something. Take something off the table, and then it could just be a quick and dirty engulf, which is like, okay, Was it good for you? And then there's the creeper gear in golf. I prefer the. But now I move my targets up to the creeper gear target just in case if I swing trade this. Now, this is what I couldn't impart onto this guy about the swing trade. Now, if I've already scalped this, I have enough money padded in the account where I can go for the swing in golf here. Now, this could just be insane. I don't know what's coming out here. There could be news coming out. I didn't even look here. Let's take a look at the stats. What do we got? Okay, Japanese they've already come out with their news. Their final GDP, how are they doing? Are they killing it? Oof, no, we're killing them. So they're not doing too good. Now that's the argument. Why about the budget? Okay, we got a fundamental trader here. But isn't it funny that the market's bid right to the fucking edge of edge, right? Right where the stops are. Huh. Now we could come flying back. So this is the sellers are coming in here. This is the moment of truth on the 5. Now let me go for a little tighter trend line there. So we're looking at this. We're using trend lines as a volatility wedge because they're price over time. They're not price over wick. So it's just timing volatility. And now this is the trap. Now we know the scalpers got out and took their money and they ran down and they got drunk because they got out here at this triple bottom. They're already out. Now, the swing traders would hold through to see, and then when we come back into fair value, on the 5, this is when people are like, you know what? That was a total fucking failure for the bears to come in here. Let's buy the first pullback. And we're coming into fair value, which is the top that became the bottom for a moment and became this doji in here. So you're in this point. Now you got to be like, okay, well, we scalped the bottom floor of that because we had scalps built into the scripts, and we're going to hold through that. And maybe it's going to do a total engulf, and we can ride a position that's not as big as our scalping positions. This is the trick. You're very big in these clusters that last 15 minutes, and you have this amazing, scalp plan that pays for the wider stops that are on your swing trades. So you've padded the account. I like that, padding the account. You make something during that psychodrama. Now, I wasn't paying attention to this platform. If I was really on it, I'd be like, okay, I was concentrating on my other real money here. I'd be like, okay, buy stop, buy stop, buy stop, buy limit, buy limit. Boop, 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 boop. That's what you're doing. You're 89K in fucking minutes, man. And ultimate, you're a high frequency trader. As fast as your broker is not. Now, the requotes I was getting here, now there is no, if I go to put in a ticket here, and I put a new ticket in, oh, fuck me, where is it? Trading. New order. I'll get F9. And I say, okay, give me a pending. It's telling me 0 pips, but they still won't take the ticket. If when I hit the hotkey, that buy stop is ridiculous because the spread is wide. And it's probably not going to take it then, but that's fine because I don't get a crash. I just say, okay, next, move on. Now, I think a lot of that has to do with I'm double clicking, hitting the key too hard, which I know I'm doing that. I'm aware of that issue. I'm hitting the key like insane. Now here, we're looking for, in golf, we ever have predetermined exits here. Now, I could scooch these up. Now, if it was real money, I would take these up, right? I hold down my Alt key, which I have because I've drawn objects on the screen, so I always have the Alt key running. When you see objects, charts, use the Alt key to drag trade levels. Otherwise, you'll draw a trend line and you'll move your. So if I go here and say, well, I'm going to put my orders in the abyss on the north side because I've already scalped enough. I can see that I made enough money. So let me lighten up I'm going to just let whatever is still in here, which is a very small amount of margin. I'm going to convert these into swing and golf trades. So I've scalped, and I'm like, I don't want to get back in the fucking market. I'm slightly in. Let this thing drift up tonight, and I can make the same amount of money I just made in 40 seconds. Now, this is a dualistic approach. Somebody asked me, this is what I said. I was on this meetup thing. And I just try to describe myself as a trader. So I'm a scalping swing trader, right? So I'm kind of like, yeah, I mean, I'll go for a one night stand, but I also want to be in the relationship for at least 3 days. So I'll go for the sociopath hookup in the hotel room for the hotel sex, which is always hotter because you're so like alone. Well, you paid for the right to be in this fucking hotel room, I think. I think it's an entitlement feeling. I'm just saying now. Okay, so we also have a pip target here, a money target. Well, it looks like a fucking serious in golf here. Now, I don't know what the fundamental reason of this yen in golf is, but it just seems to be a classic. We still have not retraced. We have not done a in golf of yesterday. Now we can still take out the high of yesterday by tomorrow morning. I don't know if there's more news coming out, but it's just unbelievable. I mean, the markets are just literally coming unwrapped in the beginning of the month here, and it's mind-boggling. But these are the things that had to happen. We had to get that euro. I think the euro might be just kind of drifty now. I don't know what's going to happen. We're ever going to take out that infamous thing, because these things just come to their edge, and the market literally just run out of people to push it over into that. And I guess sellers are coming in now on this. Okay, we're waiting for the bottom of the hour. If we could pop this thing into the void and then rip back, then people might start buying on pullbacks, and we could add to the position maybe. But I wouldn't add. If you're running a 10 pip stop, there's no sense in trying to add on pullbacks with 10 pip stop if you know that structurally they're going to stop you the fuck out of that. Or it doesn't make sense, because it's better to come in with 8-hour hand place limits back in fair value. In other words, the market's moved up, and but why add to something, right? Why add to something? You could move up your trailing stops so that you could protect your account. I guess that's the only thing I would do, but I typically don't do that. I figure, you know what? If they take that out, then fuck, we're all going to hell. I don't know. And actually, if they take that out like they did today, I just get back in, and I just get back and rebuild the whole position in milliseconds today. In milliseconds, I rebuilt the whole fucking. It was insane. So the market went all the way back to the starting gate, and I literally did the same. I got in almost the same size. I could have gone a little bit bigger I would run 18 pip stops. If I would run 14 pip stops, I could have really said, I'll risk 14 to make 25, and those guys could have cashed out. And I can see in hindsight that had I run a certain different spectrum, and beautiful fills. So another thing is that this allows you to trade here's a huge pullback here. So sellers are coming in here on the, so the scalp's over here. And of course, this is the trap on the top here. Last kind of sell pullback. And are we coming back into fair value? Yeah, kind of. Now the euro to the yen is stronger. That one's off to the races. So here we're looking at this. This thing is going to pull back harder, because now we'll cash this out. If we cash out all the winners here, we can rebuild the whole position again. So never feel like you're missing out. And I'm underwater on these ones on the top. So here I can come back like this and start all over again and come back in the same amount of margin, maybe even a little bit bigger. And here too, I've got freed margin up here to buy this on pullbacks, because there is no one price. Watch this thing drop for one more retest even, maybe. Or maybe it's going to keep tanking. Now, the swing traders are not going to be touching this thing. They might add a little bit here, but I would say you could scalp around the position here by maybe you buy one at the market here, and now you come in with limits here. Now maybe hand place limits. This is the stronger currency. If I put in limit grids here like this, just to make a measly 16 pips, mind you. because you can make that. If I hand place this and I've got the hotkey, so I buy at the market here, buy at the market here, because you just let a little stop hunt here on the 5 minute. See this little crush back and take out the 15-minute lows? That's a stop hunt. So we're buying on the 15 here. I mean on the 5 minute, or we're going to hold that because we're already in. So if we're in really bigly, we're going to hold that, and that's how it's going to roll, right? And here's the buy stop. Here's the buy at the markets. So that's the floor. We have a pullback to, and closing probably a double bottom here, and a kind of a, since this is more ferociously going up, and I think they are hell-bent on taking the euro through the high of the year and just kind of keep going up. I mean, these things do keep going sometimes, unbelievably. It just keeps going, right? It's just a bad fucking, like Chucky's here. Bad dream. This could still plunge down. So I can do the same thing here where I say, well, you know, for the next fucking 8 hours, how about we just put up cluster orders in here just for the scalp alone? It's worth it. Because look at all the money we would have made here. This is 15 pips of insanity here on the 15-minute. And I did buy at the market when it was plunging down there. And here's where this scenario has to hold true, is that this needs to be the breakout pullback point here on the 5. Breakout pullback, then keep lunging into this outer space up here, up into the sci-fi film. And then here it's not so, it's kind of against struggling here to get through these. So this vacuum here is not as dramatic, and this could still pull back. This is a little more, this is stronger. And so we buy maybe just a 1K here just to pad the account. Now, I got into a bigger margin position I just noticed than I was in before. So I'm saying, well, you know what? I think this thing could continue going up. I don't know if we're ever going to get this amazing smash down, but we could. So if I do the math right and I start placing buy limits to buy this retest, which we've seen this a million times, the retest of the retest of the retest. If they stop me out of my market orders here that have very tight stops, then we're going to get, they'll smash the same thing here. What if we go lower for the next 8 hours? We actually go down here, down to retest the lows of, take out the low of actually yesterday. Could happen. So that's a possibility too. And here I could even, if I'm pretty certain that I want to buy here, I would just buy like this. So these are my scalp limits. So in the swing trader, if he got in down here and he's holding and he's up on his profits down here, you know, he's got a stop maybe here right now. And he's going to wait this whole drama out. Look at this pullback. Wow. That's just incredible. So I'm going to buy at the market because it's fair value. And you can see that since I cashed out of this one and I didn't cash out of that one, I'm kind of going to get killed here. Because that was the cash out. You know what I mean? Like they trap people here, and I was late to the exit, and I'm trapped on, like I said, when I was buying like that, that was crazy, right? Because I'm sitting here like this with buy stops right at the borderline, and they're trapping me at the borderline with that stupid goober entry. So there was definitely the time to think about either you have the sell stops up there or you're selling at the market when it comes into this first fill of this void. So if you take this across into that top become a bottom where everything gets started, now you'd be buying here in a pullback into the fair value, and this would be your shoulder. You would if you're buying here, you have to assume that's a shoulder on the 5. So we have the head, buy the shoulder in anticipation of more rally to come. So this, you have to perceive this has to be in your mind the shoulder. This is the head, and I've got to get a good color here. So this is the shoulder, head, shoulder, we assume, and this would be your, shoulder head, and I guess your shoulder's over here, so you're very cockeyed. But here, look at this engulf, possibly. Another engulf to the engulf. That's the fractalness of it, I suppose. The engulf to the engulf. Okay, so we're going to leave our take profits here as scalps. I'm buying the ask. That's as good as it gets. And here's the bracketed 2 pips above and about 5 pips below, I think, here. Okay. Then this needs to go up into this void for the cash out. But see how hard this is to get the party started? If this is really going to engulf the day, holy shit, right? So all of these are viable trades. The formation, trading the setup to the setup, so to speak. And if you have the right sizing here on this plunge now, that would have been all fills, and here it is not. These are all buy limits waiting to get filled. But if you're going to press that button, every 5 minutes you have a overlapping exposure of, say, for 15 minutes you're at your max. Every 5 minutes you hit that button. And those orders, same with the stop entries, mind you, a lot of these buy stops have disappeared. So I have nothing here that lasts longer for all this bullshitting I've been doing for an hour. 3 times those, you can kind of, if you watch, you can see them disappear. So that's the magic of the 15-minute script. It's a calculated price over time risk. So literally on the clock, you have 15 minutes exposure to the buy stops and the buy limits, and you've got pretty much your market orders, which are probably the most difficult to execute, because to really do it, you have to be buying into this plunge and selling into a climax. You really have to be a super contrarian on market orders, I think. Like, you could get in when the market's quiet, for that scalp burst move, but when the market's screaming, and you can still trade at the market if you can see that you didn't get your limits in. And you could do the stop entry if you don't mind paying, a pip or 2, or here it's 22 pips away. So if I hit that buy stop and the spread gets too wide and this ask starts to come in at a predefined amount above, so my the way the script reads is it's going to buy so much above the ask. So it's already saying, hey, I'm willing to overpay for this, because I'm counting on order flow. I'm counting on the drama cutting through the other way. It's such a velocity that it won't matter to me, because I'll make my 8, 12, 16 pips as it cuts north. And it's designed for that situation. So market drops hard, boom, 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 without question, without any fucking thinking. It starts. You start to hit that key. Now, ultimately, you have a robot do that, but a robot is never going to be able to see the structure. It's not possible for a robot to make these assessments and say, you know what, we're still in an uptrend. In fact, this is not confirmed uptrend yet here. We have no pullback unless you consider this to be it. And if that's the case, there's a high probability that this could just be if this is the new channel that we just established, we're projecting a channel that's going to look like that, where this channel is going to be very drifty, right? We knew this top based on this, right? And when people do that shit, it works, but I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't fucking work on Wix. This whole idea of a measured move that these guys at Empowered Trading are talking about, they got their head so far up their ass, dude. It's just unbelievable, right? We all know that, right? Think about what they're saying. They don't have any concept price over time. Now, this would be if you connect this to the high, now what you do here is measured move looks like this. You connect this, you copy it off close. This is where you're expected to go, right? This is your expected target, is to copy the price pulse, not the wicks. It's like this, right? Measured move. But that's what you expect from a momentum bounce situation. Now, the same could be said for the down price pulses if you do it like that. But it lasts for a moment. These are momentary price pulses that are 1-2 punches. It's over. They can't build a whole thing around that. And the failure for it to make it there. Yeah, sure. That's and the problem with doing that is you're over speculating. I think well, if it's possible to over speculate. You're overdoing the you're just overthinking it. Now here we're waiting for the vacuum on the north side to fill, we've got a partial fill here. We cracked through the ice, so to speak, in Wyckoff. Now we crack it. The euro leads. Here comes the dollar yen. So if you missed your entry, and if you're trying to play you figure this is the dollar yen, maybe play catch up. If the euro yen engulfs, well, dollar yen maybe follows, and maybe it doesn't. But if you're in both and you're going to gauge, okay, this one's going to make me X, this one's going to make me X, and blah blah blah, on and on. Now, it's pretty tough to wear the hat of a scalper and wear the hat of a swing trader. I have to say you can do it in a way with these scripts because you can dial them to taste, so to speak. And if you just build it into the script, it's already predetermined. So that's the beauty of that, is that if it's written like that and you press that button, it's plan your trade your plan. On a key by key basis, or a click by click basis, or a drag and drop by drag and drop basis. But in the end, the more that you trade smallly, the more money you'll make bigly, because you can have all this stuff coexisting. Now, this is plenty of fucking drama here. Now, this is the yen. So I'm looking at the yen just through two currency pairs, and I don't have to fight the fact that, there's liquidity here. And now if I go, there's no really other way to, there is the euro, dollar to the euro and dollar to the pound. You can do that one. Now, if you do that one, you got to get your brain around that. What's a little bit different view, because it's euro to the pound and euro to the dollar, where this is like a top-down view. This is the dollar on top of the yen. It's a completely different look to it. Now, I used to run these all the time because I thought, well, these look so similar, and but they're not always in the big picture. They don't look the same at all. They sync up during these little mini auctions, but even here, we're a little bit different, right? This is in a downtrend. The other guy's in an uptrend. This is the trend line to break, and this is the trend line to hug on the way up. And this one's ahead of it. Of course, this is more bullish, and this is the laggard, so you can arbitrage them against each other. I figure, well, okay, you know what? I'm in this one, and let this one go, and this one actually is more volatile. On this chart right here, the way it's framed, it's more volatile. It's not always like that. Euro can really take a run here. We get to do a big burst. And the void on the north side of the euro is certainly due for a smash up. And look at this respect for the 10 pip handle. No respect for Fibonacci, but notice the 10 pip respect here again. A little more 10 pip respect. A little dip below here, but this is a pretty fine-tuned window here. Now, either you're hitting the button here and babysitting this thing, which I can't imagine. It's very tough sledding. It's 5-minute chart. You got to be on this. Like 5-minute chart. Dude, you got to be sitting there, hitting it. Because unless you had a limit grid that you laid in here, predetermined, right? It's going to suck in that whole thing in a 20. That's why I was saying in that video, I buy every pip on the way down. Buying every pip. Yeah, not 500K in every pip, but buy every pip. And at the bottom of that script is a hard stop, and it's designed to do that one thing, and it does it. It's just perfect fit, right? It's just, it's like the tailored. It's the tailor factor. Everything's just everything's tucked away in a cubby hole there. And so that's how that lives, but that doesn't always, this is a trap you set, that all the work you have into that you may never see that. Otherwise, you would have the 10K, you're buying every pip on a limit drop, or you have a button you press, and it throws those in. Now, we could get this engulf. So now I'm in, I would be moving my take profits. So I'd come into platform here and I'd go like this. And if I say, well, you know what, I think I'm really being a little bit too, I'm gonna need to make some more money here. So on the, I got some, I got sells in here from the euro. Let me get these out of here. It's no fucking up my equity. I said some pendings in there. So if I go like this, and I say, well, let me move these up. Let's move them up like 15 pips, right? Because I think it's going up. So if I want to ride the engulf, I can either do that or just keep nailing this. Now this is, you're going to have to do this like 50 times for 50K. But this is what this looks like now. So I do this all the time. If I want to swing trade it, so say I'm already, I just fucked that up. It looks like this. You have to nail this continually. Oh, my rhythm's not very good. I got to take a rhythm class. Okay. It's not grabbing the update. There's some kind of hang here. Okay. I guess I'm not clicking on the blue button. I don't know if there's a way to hotkey that button, but I'm sure there's a EA for what I'm doing. Or a script that would just move. I don't want to move everything though. Right? Because some of that stuff I'm like, you know what? Let's scalp out. Now, these start flashing at 10 pips away. I'm only moving them up 5 pips maybe. Okay, so this is going to start cashing out above 40. So I know if the vacuum is in the 50s, and you could also do this where you just keep putting in a slightly different number. Of course, this is why you'd want to really write a script like this. Now you put in an 18 pip take profit and do a couple of these. Now this is where the work comes in, right? This is where you're like, you know what? I own a restaurant, but fucking A, there's no robot that's going to come place all that. Maybe there is a robot coming. It's going to put all the cream and sugar on the table and the salt and pepper. And it's going to do all that shit for you. There's probably is a robot. There probably are restaurant robots. I mean, I don't know how many people they've killed. I mean, glasses they drop. But this is a fake account, so, you know, I don't normally do this. This is why people are like, well, you did a demo on the real account. Dude, I would never fucking sit here and spend all this time, money, all this time. I'm just doing it because I'm doing a video, but this is what this looks like when I do real money. I'm like, holy shit, I'm in like fucking 300K. Let's swing trade. Like, who doesn't say, holy shit, look at the big picture, right? Especially when the market's in these insane prices. Forget about it. Now, we could see the euro. The euro, take out the yen, take out the high, which seems inconceivable. Take out yesterday's high, and just keep pounding north. I'm just going to complete engulf here. So I'm setting all my targets up for the engulf. Now here I would just grab it. This is how I typically do it. So I just grab these. Now I don't know if these are connected to orders I haven't filled yet, and that's another thing. I could be moving orders that I haven't filled yet. So this is another way to move this up. So I'm going to say, let's move these to the high of, beyond the high of the day, and go for total engulf, right? So basically it looks like this. Bottom of the hours here, okay, we can get serious drama now. This is kind of the opening of Asia here. Now this one I'm going to let go because I didn't have a chance to move those. Yeah, so this one I can see that I don't, somehow I haven't moved these far enough away. Okay, so this is what it looked like if you're in real money. And because when you see this retest and it doesn't go any lower, you're like, holy fuck, that looks like the low. Now, the confirmation is that you got filled, that you bought the low, that you had the fortitude to buy the low, and you did it. That's how you know. That's how you know you're a swing trader, because you're just holding on to that trade through the insanity, and you figure, you know what, that was the beginning of the day, and damned if that didn't retest on the Asian Open. If you're looking at this from the big picture, if you're going to go to, say, the 1 hour chart, you're like, holy shit. Now everything I marked off there is that wick. See, now that's the entry window. So when you go to the 5 minute, you're like, holy shit. Okay, well that's that, and that's literally just the wick. A swing trader would buy that wick and they'd hold on for dear life because they're trading wick to wick. You know, that's the system. Is wick to wick. So let's move our targets up, because I'm telling you, by tomorrow morning, by the end of Friday, if the stocks are up, and I don't know what's going on, it means to me this is just huge auction trading. Another engulfing, like I said, this is just a classic cliche thing that seems to be happening every week now, is the psycho engulf. I can't explain it. I just say that it's auction theory. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'll tell you what, I'm gearing up for a huge... Now, here I'd be like this. Okay, here I'd be like this. If I was going to swing trade that. But apparently I don't have the time to... Now, that's why... So, what, if you have the whole spectrum of orders there, but if anything, the limits get you in the market. Now, you may have scalps built into that, and you may have targets that are not greedy enough. And you're like, holy shit, man, this is a 150 pip day, and I only wrote that script to make 30. Yeah, because you knew you could probably make 30. But you're like, oh my God, look at the big picture here, man. I mean, if I hold on to this for the next 6 hours, we could go total psycho engulf on the dollar yen and the euro yen. And if that's true, I mean, I'd like to happen right now in like a millisecond here. But if that's true, we're talking megabucks, right? Because we're talking about a 100 pip move now, even in a small position. That's a few bucks. Now, it is so ferocious right now. The markets, and I don't know, gold is going up, unfortunately. I hate gold, so I'm very bearish on gold because I hate it, because I have to use it. So I hate gold. I know where my biases on gold is. Now, if this goes up, gold will get smashed. I think if the dollar can beat the shit out of the yen, it'll be like, holy fucking Canadian right now. Australia's going through the roof. But Australia's connected to gold, I think. You know, people, commodity. That's the commodity currency. Whatever. I just blew up my account, fucker. So, yeah. I like when people say all this. Dude, you don't understand. I just blew up your account. I just got stopped out of my fucking completely logical trade. So chaos is your friend here. Oh, fuck here. I'm trying to move one more ticket. Okay, that should take care of most of that swing. So if we retest the highs, now here it would be like this. You just keep chasing this fucker up. I like the idea of moving him like this because I can say, you know what, I would definitely cash out of most of the position if we ever make it to here. If we ever make it to here. Or you could cash out right now. So this depends where you're at financially. If you want to make 150 bucks right now, you just close all winner. Here, actually, I should be getting out of this one. So let me get out of that one. Because I think that's... See, I missed the exit there. Because that was the trap. Okay, so I'll pad the account here. And I'm actually going to cash out as it goes up. Because fuck these fuckers. That way I can hold this leg. And now I can focus on buying on pullbacks here. And this I'd probably want to put pure limits or get a limit key. And just go like this. Because, you know what? They're probably going to pull it back. Go figure, right? Especially if this is a real breakout into this. Then, right, we could come back. And this is where the work comes in, because if you scalped out of that, we know logically, and these are 8-hour scripts, so this is, I guess, high-risk trading. We want to buy that on any kind of pullback we get. We're still in this guy. Now let's move this, take profits up, and turn this into a swing trade, because now we're basically in the same size we were before, and we scalped, I think, something here. I'm not sure. So now they're pulling it back, and if this guy goes up while that pulls back, which is typically the case here, there's like there's a back and forth. They don't move in unison, which you would think they would, right? Because you're against the yen, and you're like, oh, everything's killing. But there's a yin and yang, sadly enough. And if you're on the wrong, if your yin is not calibrated to your yang, then you're talking major dysfunction junction. Okay, so I'd move all these up. If you have the scale has to be kind of fixed for this maneuver, but basically what I'm doing is you kind of have to come at an angle like this so you don't move the chart. So it looks like this. And that's like, because the market's too dynamic. If you have, all these are hot key entries. So these are really designed to make like, and I hit the key so many times to make 20 pips because I know I can make that 20 pips and make money. But if you look at the big picture, you're like, holy shit, man, this thing's just going to go pounding north all night long? Is that possible? Here I could buy at the market on pullbacks here. So I could add a little bit here, but I wouldn't get in too much. Let this one be the big rider through the whole. If this is going to start to engulf and take out this trend line, then, then we're talking, right? We got to get to here and break that. The first break is going to be, we broke this one, right? We broke here and kind of like, well, I haven't quite. I'd say this is the internal trend line. We need to break that. And then it's going to be the big kahuna pivot is this puppy here on the 1 hour, where this doji became the selling point. So we can see here we would buy in limits here. If I put in 1 hour limits here, that probably looks like a good idea, right? Now it looks like it is going up, so I'll put in the tight exit scalps. I'm only looking to make, so I can just, I want to make like $20 if I just buy at the market like this. I just bought like a 20K with 8 and 12 pip exits. So it's kind of scary to buy. I mean, I'm assuming this is a real breakout, and this may be the only pullback I get on the 5 minute. I'm looking at the 1 hour dollar yen for the swing trade. So this is a converted into a swing trade. So all these take profits are going to be scooched up here. And this is the high of the day. So if we engulf tonight, we would just ride that puppy for the full engulf. Like I said, maybe it's going to happen in like a couple hours. Ideally. Okay, so that's that. And we still have to move all these tickets. This is easier than opening the platform. I need to get them away from, if they're really scalps and they're 8 pips away, you can't hardly grab them. You can't see them. So we could start the big march north here, and by the time Europe opens, I don't know what's going to be happening. We may only make it to here. So if we only make it to the conservative exit is going to be this doji here, which is so another 7 pips. A lot of people are going to sell. There should be sellers coming in there. It's not going to go in a straight line. If you go to the 15, you can see already this is a problem. They've trapped people here possibly, right? And this is the next trap to come where sellers are coming in, people are getting the hell out. Revolving door right there. Right. Okay, so let me go get some more coffee here. So this is the last day of the week. We're going to try to do this classic dollar yen engulf. There's the 30-minute trend line. So this is the slightly bigger picture than if we go to the 15, nice thing about these trend lines, the 15 and the 30 are pretty much identical. There is no, really not a lot of disparity there. The queue up nicely. Here if we go to the 15-minute, you're looking at a big vacuum here, possibly fill. After we've already filled, right? Pull back, but left a big void there. And look at this, look at the high drama here. This is an incredible example of the dynamic range of these things. That's insane. Now this could crap out. This could be it. But, sellers are going to come in here. We're going to cash out into that. I did not change those take profits. So I wouldn't, because this is a demo. I'm not going to move all those orders. But you can see how that works. And because you're determining how much margin you're in right now. So you had your fun. Scalping is a riot. There's nothing more fun than buying the low of the day. I mean, this really doesn't get more exciting than that if you're a bottom picker. And they say you shouldn't pick your bottom. But, It depends. I saw Japanese girls today that was in a classroom. But so this is the okay. This is a range trading. Really, it's seriously range trading on this chart here. The 15-minute. It just looks like range trading. Oh, is there a trend? I don't know. You know, there's a void. I think. Is there a trend? Is there a void? Certainly a void. Into the void. Of course, this is kind of the cycle because this is the Thursday, last day now. Sellers are coming in here, I see a little bit. They're trying. Okay, it looks like this is going to go nuts, right? So this one's going to go nuts. And we could, now I'm just going to let that play out into the cash outs. I'm not going to sit there and fucking keep moving them. So when I made all that money, that other account, is because I just intervened at the market. I'm like, duh. So I just bought really heavy without any stops. And then after Ricky Ricardo started to troll me and upset my sensibilities, I proceeded to blow up the account because I want to see what he's going to say. And it was crickets. I was expecting everybody to say, see, I told you. He's no guru. But, you know, hey, fucking hey, dude. You're on your own. When you fucking go into these markets, if you don't have a trade plan for this psychosis today, you're fucked. Now, the swing trader thing is definitely going to take patience. You have to wait for the end of the day. You got to wait for tonight. After this psycho bounce here, so I traded the bounce, right? And then I thought, you know what they're going to do? What do they always do? Return to the scene of the crime. So I buy here, I dump here, and I'm like, holy fuck, I bet they come back to the scene of the crime. Here now, not so much, because it's a different, the crime scene here is a different place on the chart, where this is a retest of this major, they're both a 15-minute chart, and they're both equally zoomed out. So one man's crime scene's another man's mini drama. This is happening above this, where this is literally going, hey, you know what? We are testing new lows, people. Insanely. It is insane. Forex is fucking nuts. You need to have a trade plan that you have, that you know you will not get into some fucking trade without a stop. It doesn't make any sense. People do it. Now, if your account's a stop, I got it, right? You say, you know what? I don't give a fuck. Fuck it. I'm only going to buy an 8K. Okay. You put $100 in your account, you buy an 8K. Yeah, you can do it. You can make $80, but there's going to come a point in time where the market moves so ferociously that you think, hey, you know, this is a good buy. In fact, if you were buying, don't forget today, and this is just a complete example of the psychosis of the market, is that it doesn't get any better than this as far as psychosis. You buy here, and you're like, oh, man, I love this trade. Fuck. Oh, wait. Oh, look at my target was hit, but I got butt fucked. Then you think, oh, I know what I'll do. Here, I got it all figured out. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to buy a retest of, so the market's here, and this is the breakout. I'll just put a buy limit here. Oh boy, how'd that work out for you? Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll buy here. This is a good price. Yeah, sure. With a 30 pip stop, with a 40 pip stop, great trade, right? And then look at to here. So it's vibrating up and down, and you're like, holy shit. I mean, that is some serious drama. Were you a seller here? Were you getting out of your profits here? There's a million questions. So when people ask me, what about this? Some guy asked me in my video about, have you thought about putting stochastics on a cloud? And I thought, man, I don't know. Is that like putting a cherry on a fucking ice cream cake? I don't know. You know, I don't know what's going to make you any money. Like cloud trading, I don't care what you're trading. If you get the size wrong and the stop wrong, I don't give a fuck what you're using for a signal service. You could be using the goddamn stars. I'll guarantee you, there was a full moon. In fact, went to get dinner last night, and I noticed a full moon, and I thought, I guarantee you, there's some fucknut out there that called the low in the dollar yen based on the moon. Oh, full moon, well, dude, 108. It's no brainer. We didn't quite hit 108, but we got a psychotic, beautiful bounce. You know, dead cat bounce, mind you, right? Cat comes back. Here, it's a completely different story, but these guys could move in. They'll move in sync until Europe opens, and then the wheels come off. And maybe this is coming up in here, but structurally, this is cashing out in here, and maybe this is cashing out into here, and they're both fulfilling that structure trade, but you know they're related because they're both against the yen. So I hope that helps. Yeah, so I'm just gonna have to start drinking, I think, to ride out this agonizing engulf pattern. Now maybe we add in pullbacks, who knows? But that's my view of the drama here tonight in the Asian session. Very much drama on sell-off. Bought at market. I'm just writing in the journal right now. Me buy big on a huge sell-off. Looking for engulf. So this could be the classic weekly carry trade on the yen.